Welcome to A Child's Point of View. My name is Anthony Newman, and Shanae is about to do our prayer.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus, for letting us come here today. I pray for everybody who couldn't make it and who made it, and I pray that God give people traveling mercy. Amen.
Amen.
We will let the guests introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Amy. I'm a registered nurse and I work in dialysis, and I've been a Delawarean for almost all my life.
Hi, my name is Joseph A. Boss. I'm a real estate developer, primary focus in the city of Wilmington. I'm also a proud resident of the city of Wilmington.
Hi, my name is Rich Washam. I'm a licensed nurse and I've lived in Delaware all my life. I'm also an ex-military veteran.
Alan Spiro, working with the show, and I've been born and raised in Delaware, and enjoy working in Delaware as well.
Thank you. Yeah, Alan Spiro. I didn't have my microphone on. Born and raised in Delaware, work in Delaware. We have many of our businesses located in the first state, and happy to be here tonight.
Do we want to take some questions?
Yeah.
My name is Scott Abercrombie, and I am a 4th grade student at Wilmington Manor Elementary School.
My name is Drew. I'm in 4th grade, and my school is Newcastle Hills.
Hi, my name is Haley Clark, and I'm 8 years old, and I'm in 3rd grade, and I go to Townsend Elementary.
My name is Justin Dye, and I'm a 4th grade student. I go to Stars Elementary, and I'm 10 years old.
Hi, my name's Tiara, and I go to Newcastle, and I'm in 4th grade.
Hi, I am Alana Sharp. I am 9 years old, and I go to 3rd grade at Newcastle Elementary.
Hi, my name is Giovanni Phillip, and I am 9 years old, and I go to Newcastle.
Hi, my name is Jana, and I am 9 years old, and I go to Wilmington Manor Elementary School.
Hi, my name is Carly Thompson, and I'm in 5th grade, and I go to Wilmington Manor Elementary School.
Okay, Carly, you want to start and ask a question?
Miss Amy, why did you choose this profession?
That's a really great question, Carly, and thanks for having me here today, guys. I chose nursing. Actually, nursing kind of found me. After I graduated high school, I moved out to the West Coast, to California, and I happened to get a job in dialysis, which is working with people whose kidneys don't work. And once I started working in dialysis, I realized that I really wanted to care for people and take care of people. And so I began my journey into nursing. I ended up coming back to Delaware. I was from Delaware originally and started in nursing and haven't looked back since. Nursing is a great opportunity to really, just care for people, their families, and I'm just glad that I was able to have that opportunity given to me.
Yeah. Janae, you have a question?
Mr. Boss, why did you decide to become a real estate agent?
That's a great question, Janae. And I will tell you this. It started with finding a love for what I love to do. And originally I started in the restaurant business as a restaurant owner, restaurant developer. But since I was little, I always loved like tall buildings. If I ever did Legos, I always had to build the biggest Legos. So for me, my passion came from a childhood, from where I always wanted to do it. I just didn't know how to. And as I evolved as a person, I grew, and I had the opportunity to go into real estate. I made a full-time commitment to going after pursuing my dream of building high-rises, and here I am today.
Mr. Boss, how has your family helped you in your career?
Oh, is that a question for me? Actually, my mom picked nursing for me when I was still in high school, but I kind of fought her on that. So I wanted to go into the military, and I don't know, over 10, 15 years later, I wound up becoming a nurse just like she wanted me to. But I initially had the support of my family and brother, my sisters, and friends. They all got in my back, in my corner, and kind of encouraged me to go that route.
Mrs. Amy, what advice would you give to students who are interested in becoming a nurse?
Okay. Wow, that's a big question. Well, first of all, I would say don't let anybody tell you you can't. Don't let anybody tell you it's not easy or too hard. It takes too long. Those are all things that I think I thought when I thought about going to college and all the work and homework. Right now, you guys, I know, get stressed about your homework and all the things you have to do. But honestly, you can do it. My advice would be to just stay motivated. Realize what you want your life to be. Realize that you can have all the dreams that you want to have. That they're completely achievable. Nursing is a job that not only is physically demanding, but it takes it's emotionally demanding too. Meaning that you care for people. You care for your patients and their families, and you have to be willing to give a stranger a hug. You have to be willing to hold somebody's hand when they hear maybe news that's not too good. I'm sure you guys have been sick before, your parents have been sick, or you visited family members in the hospital. And so that it feels bad when you feel bad when they feel bad. And that's something that you have to be willing to be able to give is your support and your strength to somebody when they really need it. So my advice is just to think really think hard about who you are and but never give up. Keep going after what you want to do despite, all the obstacles that may come in your way, because life does come with obstacles always and will forever and ever, but you can always overcome them. And so don't ever give up. That would be my advice.
Mr. Rich, what are the main concerns with dialysis?
That's a very good question. As far as dialysis goes, to just give you a little background on it, it's for patients whose kidneys no longer work. So what happens is they come in, they see me and Miss Amy, and we allow them we put them on a particular type of machine which cleans their blood, and it also takes off all the excess fluid that you cannot get rid of from your body. Okay, so we go to the bathroom in two ways basically, and one of the ways is how dialysis corrects the body's inability to eliminate that. Okay, one of the main concerns is really just keeping the patient healthy, making sure they do their treatments the way that they're supposed to, follow their proper diet plan that's given to them by their nutritionist, and it's just being diligent and just reassuring the patient that this is the right course of action for them.
I have a follow-up question. What is something that could go wrong with dialysis?
That's a great question. One of the ugliest things about dialysis that can actually go wrong is a patient can actually lose their life. It's can be a very tedious process. It's a very important process. So you really have to be on top of your toes when you're doing something like that. It's skilled. It's quite learnable, though. I think each and every one of you over there can absolutely accomplish it. So it's not anything to be intimidated. You don't really expect bad things to happen, but you are trained to react in case those bad things do happen. That's why we became nurses, basically to help people, to make sure that in situations that something bad happens, that we're there to help take care of them.
What is dialysis home training, Mr. Rich?
Excuse me, can you repeat that?
What is dialysis home training?
Well, dialysis home training is essentially most patients, I want to say about 80% of the patients on dialysis, they go to a center. It's basically a clinic where all the dialysis patients go, and they pretty much go in there for about 4 hours a day. Nurse and technicians go in, they give them their treatment, put them on the machine, and they come off. Now, home dialysis, well, we train patients to actually give their own dialysis to themselves. Them and their loved ones or a friend or a family member, they come to our center. We take about 6 to 8 weeks of training. We start that patient everything to training them on how to use the machine properly, to everything to actually putting their own needles into themselves or hooking up with a catheter. It's a really neat process. I would love for a lot of you guys to be able to see that, but it's basically just showing them how to do everything that somebody at a clinic would actually do for them.
I have a follow-up. What does dialysis do?
What does dialysis do? Dialysis is basically two processes, okay? Like I was explaining a little earlier. A person's kidney stops working, okay? Many people, or everybody has several organs in their body. We all have a brain, a heart, lungs, kidneys. Well, unfortunately, there's certain organs in the body that the body can kind of like do without. But then there's other organs in the body that we just can't do without. We can't do without hearts, we can't do without our brains, and we definitely can't do without our kidneys, okay? Unfortunately, what happens is when the kidneys no longer work, anything that you drink, it does not have the ability to go anywhere, okay? So what happens is the patient tends to have all that fluid accumulate in their body. It has nowhere to go, so it swells up, and essentially within that fluid, there's good stuff in your food and bad things in your food, okay? The body takes in the good stuff and it eliminates the bad stuff, the things that we don't actually need, okay? So the process with the dialysis eliminates all the things in the blood that is bad, okay? And it also eliminates the fluid that's in the body that the body can no longer get rid of. Good question.
I have another follow-up.
Oh, wow, you keep coming, okay.
Are there as many nursing opportunities for men or for women?
There are exactly the same amount of opportunities for a guy as much as there are for a female. We live in different times and a different age. I want to say about maybe 20 years ago, you wouldn't see too many guys in dialysis. It would be mainly females. Nowadays, when you go to a hospital, there are a lot of guys doing it. People from all over, different walks of life, come into being male nurses now. I actually started off in the military as a medic. So I wanted to continue in the medical field. So looking at the ladder and basically laying out my plan for my life on which direction I wanted to go, I basically saw that nursing was something that was achievable for me. So that's why I became a nurse, and a lot of guys are coming into it because, to be honest with you, when you become the right nurse, you do quite well with making a good amount of money, believe it or not. You can live a pretty good living with it.
Mr. Rich, what was your career path to become a special prenatal care nurse? What do you do?
My career path, honestly, I lucked out. I was in the military, and when I first got out of the military, I drove ambulances. I was an EMT. We picked up a patient one day, and we actually took them to a dialysis center. I saw all the people working in there, and they looked really just high tech. I saw a lot of machines, a lot of buzzards and bells going off, and I actually saw the blood passing through the people's bodies. Believe it or not, even though I had been in medicine for, I want to say about maybe 5 years up until that point, I knew nothing about dialysis, okay? Not until I walked into that center. Once I walked into that center, I asked a couple of people who were working there, what was dialysis all about? They explained it to me, took somewhat of an interest in it, and I actually saw where they were actually hiring. So basically from there, I put in for the job, and it's just been history ever since.
Mr. Rich, is nursing a reward career?
It is one of the highest rewarding careers. There are a lot of jobs, and everybody's job in the world is important, believe it or not. Everybody has a role in life. I don't care if you're the guy who has to sweep the floors or if you're the guy who's at the big corporate building. Everybody has a place in this world. And but as far as nursing, I find it really rewarding, just for the simple fact that when somebody comes to me and I'm able to help them, because I know most of the time if they're coming to see me, they're sick. The rewarding part for me is, honestly, is when I'm able to put a smile on their face, when I'm able to make them laugh, when I'm able to tell a joke that makes them feel good when they walk out of there. That's a rewarding part for me, to be honest with you, because my job is to make them feel better, but the little extra step is to put a good smile on their face and make them feel warm when they leave out. A lot of the dialysis patients, most of them, I'm going to say almost all of them, they don't want to be on dialysis. It's a result of somebody's body not reacting in the way that it should be reacting, to be honest with you. So with the dialysis, a lot of people come in sad. So on top of just putting them on the machine, I like to make them try to feel good and to have a laugh. Just the best thing in the world to me is to be able to make somebody laugh throughout the day, because everybody feels good when you laugh, you know. So if I can make you laugh, then that's something that I enjoy doing.
I have a follow-up. What are some of the guiding principles that you follow in your nursing career?
What are some of the guiding principles? Well, to be honest with you, nursing is achievable for everybody, but it is going to take a lot of patience, perseverance, dedication. I want you to know that just because something seems a little difficult, that if you take the time and the patience to just study it and learn it, then you can pick it up. You'll be able to learn it. Everybody learns at a different pace and at a different rate. I can get one guy to read a page or a book in maybe 20 minutes. The other guy may have to read that book, may take him about an hour to read it. But it doesn't mean that they're not able to learn the same thing. So the rewarding thing and just the path, honestly, is I'm going to just say, whatever it takes. Find out what it takes to get there. Ask adults, ask your teachers, your counselors, ask your older peers, people who are your mentors in your life. You want to just ask them, how did they get to where they're going in life, and what obstacles, most of all, what basically almost made them quit, and what made them keep on going. And I think you'll find that the things that made them keep going are the things that you'll be able to use in the future to help you get to where you want to go in life.
Okay, we're ready to go to a commercial, I think? Okay, we're going to take a short break, and we will be back with a child's point of view right after this short timeout. All right, welcome back to A Child's Point of View. We have very interesting guests with us tonight. Again, we have Mr. Rich to my right, Mr. Joe Boss to his right, and Miss Amy to his right. And so without any further ado, we're going to ask a few more questions. Shanasia?
Mr. Boss, where are you from?
Where am I from originally? That's a great question. So first and foremost, I want to thank everybody for inviting me here. I really was looking forward to coming here. I watched the videos on Facebook. I watched someone play the piano. I watched someone give like a lecture that did really good. It's like a little Barack Obama out there somewhere. And you know, I really, really want to thank Minister Margaret for bringing me here. And she's done so much for the community. She inspires, you know, individuals like myself every day to work really hard. But where I'm from is actually West Africa. I'm from Ghana, from Kumasi. Was not born here in the States. My grandfather was born here. He's of Lebanese and Italian descent. But we grew up in West Africa, in Ghana. And I had a chance to experience a great childhood in Africa. And I came here to the States when I was about 9 years old. I couldn't speak English, by the way. So, you know, I learned that as I went here.
Miss Amy, how did you decide to enter the nursing field?
Well, I think, honestly, like I said, when I said earlier, it kind of just found me. So I didn't know what I wanted to do when I got out of high school, and some of you might feel that same way at some point. And I decided that I wanted to have a little bit of an adventure, and I moved out to California, and I kind of fell into the job of working in dialysis, and I worked actually in the garlic capital of the world, in Gilroy, California, which is a pretty small place, but well known for garlic anyway. So a lot of my patients worked in, they were migrant workers, they worked in the fields, a lot of, you know, just strenuous, laborious work, and they came and got dialysis 3 times a week. And I just grew to love the patients. They became kind of like my family there, and that's when I just said, you know, I think I really want to do nursing. And I came back and went to Delaware Tech, right here up the road. Actually, there's a campus in Wilmington, campus in Newark, and downstate. And I was able to get an education for not a lot of money, which is key for you guys. Just think of in the future, you can get a really good education without, you know, spending a lot of money, because I grew up in Delaware and my parents didn't have the money to pay for my college. So I took loans out and was able to put myself through college and became a nurse. And I am 2 classes away from finishing my bachelor's. I have my associate's degree in nursing, so there's a couple different levels of education that you can get, and you guys have probably heard of like bachelor's degrees and master's degrees maybe, and doctors, and nurses can do all of that. In fact, I know a lot of nurses that are doctors, which is interesting. So that's kind of how I fell into nursing, and glad to be here.
Mr. Boss, is this your dream job?
Absolutely. My dream job is being a dad, first and foremost. I'm a dad, and that's the greatest job in the whole wide world. But my dream job is to be a developer in the city of Wilmington. And the reason why I have to include Wilmington is because I fell in love with this city. I fell in love with the people who live in this city. And, you know, I think this city really has that desire of wanting to be a great city. And I think that, you know, when you're a developer and you're walking the streets and you hear people every day tell you how they want their city to be better and how they want new things to improve the quality of life, I think it's really nice to hear that. Not every city has that. You know, in Wilmington, the greatest asset in Wilmington is the people of the city. They're really amazing here. It's a small city, but everybody knows each other in the whole state of Delaware, actually. And it really has been a great experience being here. So my dream is a real estate developer. I'm doing stuff outside of Delaware. But the ultimate dream is to be a developer in the city of Wilmington. That's really what I set out to be.
Mr. Rich, how did you decide to go into nursing?
How did I decide? Kind of like Miss Amy, to be honest with you. It kind of just, it's a calling, to be honest with you. A lot of times you go through life, we all started off at, you know, the same age as you guys. And you have like little small jobs, and you get to know older people, and you kind of get to see things. And as you get a little older, it kinds of, you see what you like and what you don't like. And you understand yourself a little better and where your strengths are and where your passions are. And so as far as I go, to be honest with you, I knew I wanted to be in the medical field. I didn't think I could be a doctor, so the next best thing, honestly, was to become a nurse. So I saw the things that it took to become a nurse, and I just went for it.
Mr. Rich, how long is the home dialysis training course?
Good question. The home dialysis training actually takes anywhere from 6 weeks to 12 weeks. Sometimes you get all different types of patients, to be honest with you. Some patients can learn it in a shorter period of time, and some patients actually take a slightly longer period of time. But on average, I want to say anywhere from about 6 weeks to 12 weeks, we can have patients trained to do dialysis in their homes.
Also, I have a follow-up question. How many years have you been working?
Good question. You're trying to find my age, huh?
We would all like to know.
Honestly, I've been working probably 30-some years, to be honest with you. I've been a nurse now for about maybe 8 years. Be honest with you, I went to college for criminal justice, so I'm a little older than what I actually look. I have a couple of different skill levels, to be honest with you. When I first went in the military, I was a medic, and then I became an MP. So I went a little bit back and forth. So I thought I wanted to be a cop while I was working in the dialysis field. So I went to school for criminal justice and attained a degree in criminal justice. But for some reason, I found more pleasure in the nursing field, believe it or not. So I decided to go ahead and go back to school to get my nursing degree. I figured I was already helping patients, so I figured I would just try to better myself and put myself at the higher level to be able to help patients. There's all different, like Miss Amy said, there's different levels of being able to help people, and there's different levels of being a nurse. So I decided to basically, take that path and just follow my heart, to be honest with you.
Miss Amy, what was your favorite cartoon?
Well, that's a good question. Do you know the cartoon Garfield?
Yes.
That was my favorite. Yeah.
I love Garfield.
I loved Garfield because he loved lasagna.
I love lasagna.
And I love lasagna.
I got a follow-up question.
Okay, go ahead.
What was your favorite, most funniest TV show?
Ooh, that's a tricky one. A funny TV show. Oh, was it Family Matters? Was that with Urkel?
Steve Urkel.
So you guys don't remember that, and now I'm making myself look really old. But, and I am, but yeah, Steve Urkel. If you guys can probably look him up if you Google him. But it was like fun little family show that we used to watch on Fridays, and so yeah, that was my favorite funny
Steve
show.
Urkel is
So
blue
can I ask you a question?
Yes.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
Air Force?
You want to be in the Air Force.
Wow.
I like that. Okay. That's awesome. That's a great goal. And the Air Force, I mean, that's quite an honor to, serve in the Air Force or any armed forces. That's pretty great.
Okay, this is a fun part of our show where our guests are going to ask our student panel some questions. And then I'll start. I'll start with Scott. Scott, and what grade are you in again?
Fourth.
Fourth grade, okay. What's your favorite subject, and what would you like to do when you actually get a little older?
My favorite subject is actually math because I think it's a lot easier than other ones. And when I get older, I don't know what I'm going to be. Because I have a lot of different things I might want to be.
What's something that really interests you right now?
Something that really interests me right now is cars. And like watching people build and make new cars.
Gianni, what is your favorite sport?
My favorite sport is football. I like football because you get to test how strong you are. You get to test how far you can throw. You can test your agility, and you can test. It's a good sport too.
And you're an Eagles fan, right?
No.
Oh.
I have a follow-up question. Where do you see yourself 8 years from now?
I see myself 8 years from now practicing like being a doctor or like a travel doctor.
That's wonderful.
Great. I'll tell you what, I'll go next. Right in the red, right in the front, I'm sorry, I don't have your name. Ellie? Ellie. Ellie, let me ask you a question here. Ellie? Haley, I'm sorry. Haley, what is the tallest building you've ever been in?
I haven't been. The tallest building I have been in is I went to New York one time for my birthday, but I forget what it's called. It was this big restaurant, and it turned, and it took an hour for it to go all the way around.
It turns around. I've been in a restaurant. Yes.
You can see
It's in the
all
Hotel
the-
Marriott.
and it's like a
That's
big
awesome.
buffet.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's really nice. I've been there for my birthday because my mom said I could go there for my birthday. So me, my aunt, which is a nurse, and my uncle, which is a doctor, we all went.
How about that?
That's
We've
wonderful.
been to the same restaurant. It turns around all the way around the whole city. That's amazing.
That's great.
That's amazing. Let me ask you one more question. What is it that you love to do?
Well, I really like to color. I really like to color because that's my favorite thing to do. I like coloring. Like, someone could draw me any kind of thing, and I'll color it for them and give it back to them the next day.
That's great.
And I really love to help. Like, in the future, I would really like to be a nurse when I grow up. So,
Okay.
like, I really like to help people.
That's great.
So I help my mom with stuff at home. I'll help my dad. One day my mom was sick, so I helped her with everything. I had to stay up till midnight because my dad worked night shift, so I had to stay up till midnight to help.
Hard
Wow.
work.
Yeah.
Hard work taking over for mom, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
All right. Can I ask a question to the young lady right here next to you, Tiara? Hi. Can you tell me what grade you're in?
I'm in 4th grade.
4th grade. Okay. So can you tell me a little bit about what you like to do for fun when you're not doing your homework? Because I'm sure that's fun too.
When I'm not doing my homework, I like to help my dad build racetracks, and I like to build with my Legos, and I like to use my science kit.
Oh, wow. So you enjoy building and you enjoy science.
Yes.
Very neat. What do you have any ideas about what you might like to do after you finish high school or college?
I really want to become a chef, and if I don't become a chef, I want to become a scientist studying plants.
That's wonderful. Do you watch any of those chef shows with the kids?
Oh, a lot of them.
Yeah. I watch them with my kids too. They're pretty awesome. Yeah, very cool. That's wonderful. Can I ask a question down here, the young lady in the blue? Yeah? I'm sorry, I forget your name. Can you tell me your name and what grade you're in?
My name is Jana, and I'm in 4th grade.
Janae, nice to meet you. Wonderful. So can you tell me something that you like to do when you're not, busy in school?
When I'm at home, I like to cook with my mom.
Uh-huh.
Or sometimes I will braid my doll's hair.
And what's your favorite thing that you like to cook with your mom?
I like to cook cream of wheat.
Oh, that was one of my favorites growing up too. I like that. Awesome. And what do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a chef or a hairstylist.
Wonderful. Very good.
That's amazing. Okay. Yeah. Right here in the red in front. I'm going to ask, yes. Team. I'm going to ask you a question real fast here, okay? And what do you think if you had to put everything out, right? And you had to take one thing away each and every day that you could say, I could never let this go. What would that be? One thing that no one could take from you. What would that be?
My computer.
The computer. The computer. I love it. So the dog's good, the dog can go. Just the computer can stay, right? Okay.
My most valuables can stay.
Okay.
But the
All right,
junk
that's
can
good.
leave.
That's all. What's your favorite computer? What do you have? Like what?
A touchscreen.
Touchscreen right now? Oh. Okay.
and I had it for 2 years now.
2 years now. A lot of touching on a touchscreen, huh? I like that. That's great. Next person, over here to the left. Yes. Justin. Justin, I'd like to ask you, what is your favorite sport?
Flag football.
Flag football. I never played flag football. You got to teach me. Yeah, teach me how to play flag. What position do you play in flag football?
A linebacker.
Linebacker? Wow. I played linebacker in high school and college. Look at that.
And for defense, I'm on the line.
You're on the line. Okay. All right. What's your favorite football team?
I don't have.
You don't have a favorite football
For
team?
flag?
No, and like real football.
Oh,
Professional.
the Steelers.
The Steelers.
Oh,
Wow.
that's Rich's team.
That's Rich's team. Steelers. Who's your favorite player on the Steelers?
Antonio Brown.
Antonio Jana. Well, I'm an Eagles fan, so
I like the Eagles. Go Eagles.
Like the Eagles? That's great.
How about our co-hosts here? Can we ask them some questions?
Yeah.
Anthony,
Yes.
can you tell us a little bit about something interesting that maybe your friends here don't know that you like to do or are interested in?
Well, I like to play on my PS3 because I like playing football,
Uh-huh.
and that's one of my talents that inspires me, and I like taking naps.
Naps are important. What's your favorite subject in school?
Reading.
Reading. Wonderful. And do you have any books that you like to read at home right now? Diary of a Wimpy Kid?
No.
Captain Underpants?
Yeah,
Captain Underpants. That's wonderful. Very good. And what do you think you might want to do when you grow up?
Be a professional football player.
Oh, okay. Very nice. Very nice. All right. And what about you, young lady? What's something interesting that we might not know, or your friends might not know about you that you like to do?
I like to sing because when I sing, I like to let out my happiness and stuff.
Yeah, and you were singing before we got on the air here. Do you sing at church?
Yes.
Yeah. I figured you have a beautiful voice. That's wonderful. And what do you wanna do? Do you think after school?
What do I do after school? Sometimes, if we're not late, we come at Stop the Violence Prayer Church.
And what's your favorite thing to do there? What's your
We
favorite
like to
thing?
go. We like to go on field trips.
That's awesome. Yeah. What type of places do you all go?
We went to Disney World one time,
Oh, that's wonderful.
but we actually couldn't go. I think we didn't have enough money to actually go. We went to Universal
Studios?
Oh,
Uh-huh.
that's way better, I think, than any of the
We
Disney
got
resorts.
we got in the water. We got to get wet. It was like this. It was like these dogs, but like a water fountain. We kept going in there. It was like cold. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cold.
That's a great experience.
I'd like to ask the young lady on the end wearing the black sweater. I forgot your name. Carly. Carly, could could you tell us what you would like to do when you get out of high school, out of college?
When I get out of high school or college, I want to be a choreographer.
Could you say that again? I couldn't hear you.
I want to be a choreographer.
Wow.
Okay, awesome.
Do you dance right now?
Yeah.
What type of dance do you do?
I actually do 6 different types of dance.
Ooh.
I do lyrical, contortion, tumbling, hip hop, and jazz.
Wow. That's
Do
great.
you have a favorite?
My favorite is probably contortion.
Awesome. I have a question for anybody on the panel. We are all, I guess, fans of all of you guys. Has anybody decided they want to be a nurse after talking to any of us, or a entrepreneur, developer?
Build some skyscrapers.
So, you want to be a nurse? Maybe.
Let me ask this.
Maybe we're either a developer.
So you want to be a developer?
A nurse. If I don't
Nurse.
go to the Air Force, that'll be my plan B.
You could do both.
Awesome.
Our old boss went to the Air Force, and she was a nurse manager. Yeah.
That's night shifts.
You have a question?
No, I was going to answer your question. I was going to actually be a nurse in the Marines.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Awesome. You're going to go through the military to be a nurse. Awesome. That sounds excellent.
I would like to be a nurse because I know if I can be a nurse, I can help. So if I'm a nurse, I can help. And I really love to help people. So if I can be a nurse, I can help a lot of people.
You really can. That's awesome. I love to hear that.
I want to be
Do you know what kind of nurse you would like to be?
Well, not really. I mean, it depends on what it is. Because I would like to be a kind of nurse that, like, stays with people at home so they can help. So that means I can help people. So that's the kind of nurse I would like to be.
Awesome. Awesome. Anybody like to be a doctor over there, or a lawyer, or?
I'll be a dialysis.
Awesome. Makes me feel good.
Haley, sorry, go ahead.
I wanted to be a doctor.
Awesome. Awesome.
Do we by chance have somebody that's Miss Delaware here? Can you tell us a little bit about how you got to do that? What brought you to be Miss Delaware?
Well, my mom just signed me up to be one, and once I went into the pageant, I'm like, I probably want to do this again.
Yeah.
So once I got into the finals, well, I didn't really win, but I still have the crown.
And what's the hardest thing, would you say, about doing the pageants and all the, getting ready and all that? What's the hardest thing?
Probably doing my walk.
The walk? Yeah. It's scary, huh?
You have to go into 3 circles, and they have to be just right.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And what types of things have you done as Miss Delaware after winning that title to go on? Like, do you visit places? Do you do volunteer work?
I do volunteer work by helping the homeless.
That's wonderful. And what's your talent?
My talent is playing music, doing cheerleading, and dancing.
Oh, that's wonderful. And what type of music, what instrument do you play?
The violin.
The violin? Wow. Wonderful. Wow, that's great. Anybody else here play instruments? Wow. What instruments do you all play?
Drums, clarinet, drums,
Recorder.
Very nice.
Trombone.
Trombone. Wow. Oh, that's not
Drum.
easy.
Drums.
Drums? One of my
I
favorites.
play the clarinet.
Oh, that's what I
Wow.
played. That's wonderful.
I play it too.
I also play the clarinet.
Wonderful.
Can we find out who your favorite artist is? I'm curious to know who's everyone's favorite artist. Being that we're much older, I just
Being
would like
that we'll
to,
have no clue.
I want to put it in my
Then
playlist.
we'll tell you ours.
My gym playlist.
I don't really know who my favorite artist is, but if I had to pick one, I would probably go with Luke Bryan.
Luke Bryan.
Nice. Good
Okay.
choice.
I really don't have a favorite artist.
I really don't have one either. The only I have a favorite artist. I just don't remember any of their names. But I really like art. Like I really like it a lot.
Nice.
But I just don't remember any of their names, so I can't really tell you.
My favorite artist is Trombone Shorty.
Who's that again?
Trombone Shorty.
Trombone. Okay, I'm gonna put it in my playlist.
My favorite songwriter is Michael Jackson.
Oh, it's a great
Oh,
one.
okay.
What's your favorite Michael Jackson song?
Beat It.
Oh, cool. I like that. It's good. How about you?
I forget my favorite artist.
You forget your favorite artist?
Yeah,
It's
but
okay.
How about you?
I
You're on the
know that
computer a
she's
lot.
from Mexico.
Oh, from Mexico?
Okay.
Wonderful.
My favorite artist is my art teacher.
Oh, that's amazing.
Art teachers are very important.
Yes.
Yep.
What's your name of your art teacher?
It's okay.
Oh, it's Miss Gunnett. Miss Gunnett.
Miss Gunning.
Miss
Okay.
Shout out to
Miss
Miss
Gunnett.
Round of applause.
Miss Gunnett. Miss Gunnett.
Miss Gunnett. Okay.
I know because we go to the same school, so we have the same art teacher. Music, media.
Shout out to Miss Gunnett. That's great.
Nice.
My art teacher name is Ross. I do have a favorite artist, but I can't really remember it right now. But I know that it's like one of those slow musics.
Okay. I want to thank our guests, and we've just had a really terrific give and take with the students and all the children. I have to say that I know Mr. Rich and Miss Amy because I've actually been a patient at their clinic, and I got to tell you that when you first start that process, it's very scary and daunting and so forth. But I've got nothing but high praise and almost love in my heart for all the folks that work at their facility. They're just really caring, loving people, and they've really made the experience as palatable as possible, meaning I'm able to get in there and have a relatively positive experience, even though I'm having to do something I prefer not to do. So it is something that's needed and so forth, and there's a lot to learn, but you're looking at two very, very consummate professionals. And I'd also like to thank Mr. Boss for his involvement with the show, and thank you for coming in and talking to us and so forth. So I've one of my actually best friends who's literally like a brother from another mother is from Ghana.
How about that?
I've got nothing but high praise for folks from Ghana.
How about that?
Yeah, and thank Minister Guy and Margaret again for putting this together and allowing us the opportunity to work with your children and to stop the violence prayer chain. So it's really a pleasure. So with that, we're about to break and we're done. Bye-bye.